I was at the Laugh Factory actually the other night, and when I was doing my Laugh Factory show, I noticed in the front row. So Calvin loves this tub thing that I fill with water, and he takes the cup, and he takes the cup, and he just basically takes the cup, fills it with water, and then empties it back out. He does it 400 times. I'm sitting there and I'm watching him. And sometimes, if you have kids or whatever, even if you don't, maybe you do this with other people, but like when you have kids, you can be with your kids and it's always great. But sometimes, at least if you're a sentimental person, or if you try to live in the moment, I guess, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. There's a bunch of hokey ways to fucking say it, but Calvin has really opened me up in the emotional. Like I said, I was talking to my therapist once, and she was like, well, you used to live with your walls up, and you used to keep people at arm's length, and I absolutely did. I absolutely did that. And then over the past 2 years, I've really been opened up, and she said, well, you're not going to be able to do that anymore because you got to grow. And we were talking about Calvin, and she said, you know how you like to have your emotional walls up all the time? I said, yeah. She says, well, you're fucked with Calvin because they're going to come down anyway, because she knows who I am and how I am. And I was like, you're right. And I started to cry when she said that, which, okay, we're both doing our job. Her as a therapist and me as a patient person. So, patient/person, not a patient person. I am not a patient person. I want the shit right now. But anyway, so I'm sitting there and I'm watching Calvin pick up the cup and fill it with water and putting the water back into the tub. And every time he does, he says, I got the cup. Dada, I got the cup. Dada, I got the cup. And he's doing this, and it's not just like I'm hanging out. It's like my walls are down, and I'm actually living in this moment, taking it in, but not trying to take it in. I just allow myself to take it in. I relax, I'm just looking at him, and I'm thinking about how great this moment is and how beautiful it is that he just simply has got this cup. And he's telling me 400 times, and he's saying, I got the cup, Dada. And every single time I'm saying, yeah, you got the cup. I'm saying it back. And it's a beautiful moment. It's all that I need, honestly, at this point. It's all that I need. All right? I get it. You need electricity and money and food. But at this single moment right now, this moment, this connection with my son is all I need. And it's basic as shit. And I love it. And I'm emotional about it. And we sit there and we do it a lot until he gets bored. Usually we do this shit until I get bored, but because that's what it's like being a parent. You're like, okay, good, yeah, good, buddy. But he had the cup 400 times, and I told him, yeah, you got the cup 400 times. So that moment ends, and I go about my day, and it makes me feel good. The day happens, ups and downs in a day, and I just keep doing the rest of my day, and then I have a show at the Laugh Factory. And when I'm on stage, I notice in the front row, there's a father-son. And, of course, it's not father-son like me and my son. My son's 2 and I'm 41. They're at a comedy club. So the son's at least 18. He was probably in his early 20s. And the dad was late 50s or so. And I'm looking at them, and I get this feeling of when I first started stand-up. When I first started stand-up, and I thought, I don't know if people are going to like me, or if I had a bomb, or if I was on stage and struggling and some people weren't laughing, I would think it's okay because my family and my parents, my father, my mother, they think I'm funny and they know me and I can get through this rough show because they have my back. I would actively think that, and it would make me feel better. And I would feel confident. And I'm fortunate that I had a great childhood, that I'm who I am now and can access that. Because I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube now called It's from the Soft White Underbelly, which is unbelievable. And they talk to people who were like abused and taken advantage of and prostitutes and just people who are con mans and hackers and people who have messed up lives, Ku Klux Klan members, people who have been in prison for 10 years. And every one of these people have the same story. When I grew up, my dad or my mom wasn't there. So I'm fortunate. I'm very fortunate. I am in this position that I had a good childhood and I'm on stage talking to these people. And not everyone's going to think I'm funny, but when a crowd didn't think I was funny, I would think, yeah, dude, but I always made my dad and mom laugh. I would actively think that. And this father-son reminded me gently of that. But instead of really feeling that emotion as purely as I used to when I was on stage, I thought of, I always identified with the son. But instead, during this moment, I thought, wow, and I'm on stage and I'm doing my jokes, but I'm also thinking, this is so cool that this father is able to share this moment with his son. So I wasn't thinking about really being my dad's son and going to this show in the front row. I was thinking about being me, Calvin's father, and taking Calvin to a show one day. So everything had been different. It was a bit the same because it was family, but it was like I grew into the other role, which is what you hope to do in your life, is grow. So I'm thinking, wow. And I'm noticing some people in the audience are not laughing. It was a good set. I was having a good show. But there's always people who are just not laughing, whether or not they think you're funny. Maybe they had a bad day, or maybe they just don't like you. Maybe they're just in a bad mood and they don't want to laugh and they're not laughing at anybody. Or maybe they laugh on the inside. But instead of thinking my dad and my mom have my back, I thought I need to get through these moments of not making these people laugh. In a symbolic way, these moments of things that are way worse than that. Hardships, even. Everyone goes through shit. And even during those hardships, I would be like, my parents got me. I'm fortunate to have them, and they've given me and instilled me the confidence to get through these moments. Now I'm thinking, looking at this father-son, I can get through these moments, as little or as big as they might be, not because Calvin has my back, but because I have to have Calvin's back. I am Calvin's dad, and I have to get through these moments for him, as little or as big as these moments are. And it's so interesting, too, because I thought about it after I get off stage. I thought about how, wow, I didn't actually think about Calvin having my back. And that made me happy because I think that, honestly, 5 years ago, if I did have a kid living the way I was living, all for me selfishly, and just stacking money, trying to sleep with women, whatever it was, I think that I would have thought Calvin has my back and I'm lucky. But instead of that, I didn't have that thought. I thought I have to have Calvin's back. And that, to me, made me feel the best because it was like this moment where it was like, oh, shit, man, all this therapy may be working because it's not about me. And I know it's not about me anymore. I don't know. It was a long-winded story what I just told, but it was I'll never forget that moment, man. It's like, sure, Calvin can have that cup, but I have Calvin's back.